It's you in English, Anna Nichenko. Hello, and today we talk about support from the Russian church to the Russian army. And our guest is already online. It's Victor Yelensky, a religious scholar, publicist, and politician. Hello, Victor. Can you hear me?
Hello.
The main question today, what you think about this? Does Russian church support Russian army, and does Russian church support Russian war against Ukraine?
Russian church support war and invasion of Ukraine without any doubts. And probably Kremlin and Mr. Putin does not rely completely on Russian church as an inner pillar of Russian morale, of Russian society, and so on and so forth. Despite the normal rhetoric that Russian state has two pillars of its statehood, namely nuclear shield and Russian church, Putin does not rely on Patriarch Kirill and his staff in the arena. He tried to use Russian church to justify Russian aggression and as a tool of foreign policy in many countries, in France, for example, in the United States, and now especially in Ukraine, in war against Ukraine.
How do you think the church, as a tool, as a weapon, is Russian church effective?
Russian church is not effective as a tool of justification of war. However, I should notice that Patriarch Kirill is the only person within Kremlin nomenclatura. He's number 6, actually, in Russian official state protocol. And he's only one person among top official of Russian state who for now avoid Western sanctions. That is why, because many people in West, and for example, the Pope of Rome, consider Patriarch Kirill as a religious leader, what is not the case. Because for many years, Patriarch Kirill is absolutely obedient to of Russian state and Russian propaganda. Patriarch Kirill is not independent player in political arena. He's not a player actually at all. All his power he has, what Kremlin allow him, and he could not cope with inner crisis within Russian Orthodox Church. When, for example, he has a crisis, a disobedience of his clerics or hierarchs, he normally goes to Russian so-called siloviki, and Russian apparatus help him to oppress these rebels, let's say, within Russian church.
Now we know that. Yes, now we know that Ukrainian priests of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate, they initiate an international church tribunal against Kirill. What do you think? Will it help to stop Kirill and to stop this propaganda in the church?
Ukrainian Orthodox Church of Moscow Patriarchate and hierarchy of this church bear their own responsibility for what has happened in Ukraine now. For many years, not many, but 8 years at least, hierarchy of Moscow Patriarchate sharply criticized for war Ukrainian government and never Moscow government. So they propagated idea of or false teaching of Russian war. They spread it as a false teaching about three fraternal nations, means Russian, Ukrainians, and Belarus, and so on and so forth. Now they very, very carefully try to distancing from a Moscow Patriarchate. Now they understand all. Now they lost about 100 cathedrals and church buildings in the west of in the east of Ukraine, and now they try to find so-called third path or third way, not to join Orthodox Church of Ukraine, canonically recognized by ecumenical patriarch, and not to be under the auspice of Moscow Patriarchate. I believe that Moscow Patriarchate structures, not believers, not flock of Moscow Patriarchate, but structures of Moscow Patriarchate has no room in Ukraine any longer.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? We know that Kirill supported the concept of Russian world, and he blessed Russian soldiers also. I don't know, question as from a person, as from a woman, as from, I don't know, Ukrainian. Is it normal when a church blesses the war? Is it okay? How can it be?
It's absolutely heretical and absolutely anti-evangelical, anti-gospel attitude and anti-Christian stance. And recently, about 1,000 Western theologians, Orthodox clerics, and university professors signed the declaration on Russian world teaching as ethno-political and absolutely absurdic and absolutely heretical teaching that rooted in imperialistic attitude of Kremlin and Russian most chauvinistic circles. So the anti-Western rhetoric in the mouth of Patriarch Kirill is not also only, not only false, but also miserable, because Patriarch Kirill is famous because of his luxury life, about his watch, Swiss watch, worth about 300,000 euros, and so on and so forth. And he tried to persuade his flock about the spiritually poor West. And he tried to persuade his flock about impoverished and about necessity to ruin all Western culture as anti-Christian culture. This is absolutely unacceptable and absolutely unacceptable position of Western people or Western political figures, Western clerics and Western hierarchy who share with Patriarch Kirill the same table of negotiation.
Thank you, Victor, for your explanations. Thank you, and I'll remind to our viewers it was Victor Yelensky, Ukrainian religious scholar, publicist, and politician. We discussed support from the Russian church to Russian army. It was you in English, Anna Nichenko. See you.